she's gonna talk about the time my grandma caught me masturbating.
All right, I'm ready.
You.
Well, Ferd was born in the springtime, and his mother nursed him on cheap bottles of wine until he was old enough to start on whiskey and gin. Now, I don't know much about his early days, if he went to school or he got good grades, because I just never thought about asking him. Ferd's real name is Robert Frank, and that's the name that he uses at the bank and the name his mother stitched into his clothes. But his friends called him Frankenfurter, which eventually got shortened to a smaller word. At least that's the way I heard the story goes. That Ferdy's had a colorful life. He recorded at Abbey Road. He's been married thrice, and of course, he'll never let us forget about the Mellencamp days. But it seems to me the coolest thing he's ever done is to give his grandpa's What's-It another run with a band called Liquid Gold at the Venice Cafe. Well, if you don't know what the What's-It's for, you play percussion on an old scrub board. Sometimes you hit a cowbell and squeeze a horn. It's got a cymbal and an old wood block, a pair of boots, and a painted metal top, and a couple of duct tape arms so it can be worn. The band is made up of a surly lot. Some of us drink too much, some of us smoke pot, and some of us partake a bit of both. We got pedal steel, guitar, and mandolin, bass drums, and a violin, but the What's-It's the one that folks want the most. Higgins is the tall guy in the band, and Shorty Long sits behind the cans, and Mole sits just a spell in front of him. Sometimes it's Carson, sometimes it's Thane, and Danny Homus comes around now and then, and Jackie is the one that isn't a man. Well, half the band used to be in another band called Liquid Prairie, and half the band was in Red Ass Jones. Red Ass was with the Gold Bondsmen, and both the bands included Ren, and that's how we got the name Liquid Gold. The band we play every other Saturday at that place I mentioned called the Venice Cafe. It's like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse on steroids. The owner is a guy named Jeff. When I first met him, he smoked Virginia Slim cigarettes, and Uncle Bill took money at the door. Now, Ferd is an official part of the crew unless he stays at home with the brown bottle flu or he has an obligation with his other friends. It's much quieter when he's not around and the band is short their one-ass clown. But sometimes folks get mad because they just came for him.
I didn't!
Thanks, Laverne.
Fuck you, Ferd!
That is your law.
Ferd plays his What's-It without any planning, and he likes to sing like Carol Channing at the beginning of his Dwight Yoakam song. He sings another song about being in jail, although remembering the words is always a fail, but he's Ferd, so no one pays no mind at all. When the band finishes up the show, Ferd grabs his drink and grabs his dough and sits with the patrons in the bar, while the rest of us pack up his gear and pick up all his empty beers. And
I got it down.
and the other things he left scattered across the floor. For those that know Ferd and those that are in tune, I bet you noticed something missing from this tune. When you think of Ferd, I'm sure it comes to mind. It has to do with his psychological health, his excessive lifestyle, and his moderate wealth. Can you guess the missing mantra from this song? Well, this here is the Ballad of the What's-It and Ferd, a musical work of art and a lovable turd. The band Liquid Gold in a place called the Venice Cafe. It's about drinking booze and smoking pot, playing music and cracking up a lot during happy hour every other Saturday. 'Cause we ain't having any fun.